Commander Zexathara of the Galactic Imperial Navy stared at the readouts with 4 of her 6 eyes, while the remaining 2 tracked the impossible vessel floating in the void before them. The human ship, if it could even be called that, defied every principle of engineering the Empire had established over 12 millennia of stellar dominance. "Analysis complete, Commander," reported her science officer, his scales rippling with confusion. "The vessel's power source reads as primitive fusion, yet it's generating enough energy to power a battlecruiser." Zexathara's mandibles clicked in frustration. 3 months ago, the Galactic Empire had made first contact with a species called humans from a backwater system near the galaxy's edge. Intelligence suggested they had barely achieved faster-than-light travel and possessed technology centuries behind even the Empire's most primitive member worlds. The conquest should have taken days. Instead, human ships had begun appearing throughout Imperial space, somehow bypassing the most sophisticated sensor networks ever devised. They struck supply lines, rescued prisoners, and vanished before Imperial forces could respond. Today was supposed to be different. Today, they had cornered. "Hail them," Zexathara ordered. The view screen flickered, revealing a cramped bridge that looked more like a mechanic's workshop than a starship's command center. Cables snaked across jury-rigged consoles, warning lights blinked chaotically, and steam hissed from what appeared to be a coffee machine welded directly into the navigation panel. At the center sat a human female, her hair tied back with what looked like repurposed wire. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the free ship Defiant. I assume you want to know how we got past your sensors?" Zexathara's translator struggled with the human's casual tone. "You will surrender immediately. Your primitive vessel cannot possibly—" "Let me stop you right there," Chen interrupted, leaning back in her improvised captain's chair. "See, you folks have this thing about understanding everything before you use it. Very admirable, very limiting." On cue, the human ship's engines flared with impossible brightness. The Defiant shouldn't have been able to move. Zexathara's ship had it locked in a tractor beam designed to hold vessels 10 times its mass. Yet somehow the human craft began to drift sideways, the tractor beam sliding off its hull like water off a duck's back. "Impossible," breathed the science officer. "Their hull material reads as simple steel alloy, but it's exhibiting properties of phase-shifted matter." Chen grinned on the screen. "Want to know the secret? We don't know why it works either. My engineer Murphy back there?" She gestured to a grease-covered man who was literally hitting something with a wrench. "He wrapped our hull in copper wire, ran it through the coffee machine's heating element, and somehow created a localized space-time bubble. Don't ask me to explain the physics. I barely passed high school chemistry." The Imperial commander felt her certainty crumbling. That's impossible. You cannot manipulate space-time without understanding quantum field dynamics." "Sure we can," Chen said cheerfully. "Murphy, show them the jump drive." The camera panned to reveal what appeared to be a washing machine connected to the ship's main computer with jumper cables. A handwritten sign read, "Do not put socks in quantum field." "Standard Earth appliance," Murphy called out, not looking up from whatever he was hitting. "Turns out the spin cycle creates a localized gravitational anomaly when you run it backwards and feed it through our navigation computer. Found that out by accident when my wife's delicates disappeared into what I can only assume was another dimension." Zexathara's science officer was making distressed noises. "Commander, their quantum signatures are shifting. It's like they're existing in multiple probability states simultaneously. "Oh, that," Chen said. "That's just Jenkins in engineering. He has this theory that if you don't observe quantum particles directly, they can't collapse into a definite state. So he installed mirrors everywhere and refuses to look at the engine readings. Seems to work." "That makes no sense," Zexthara's voice cracked. "Exactly," Chen beamed. "See, you spend so much time figuring out why things work that you forget to just try stuff. We've got a guy who accidentally created artificial gravity by dropping his sandwich into the waste recycler at the wrong angle. Another one figured out how to communicate faster than light by singing opera into our radio transmitter. Apparently, the universe likes show tunes." The Imperial ship's sensors were now reporting that the human vessel was simultaneously in 17 different locations, powered by a perpetual motion machine that violated thermodynamics, and somehow broadcasting a recipe for chocolate chip cookies on all frequencies. "But the fundamental laws of physics," Zexathara began, "are more like suggestions, really," Chen interrupted. "See, the universe is weird, really weird. But you folks got so caught up in understanding the weirdness that you forgot to embrace it. We just accept that sometimes hitting things with wrenches makes them work better." As if summoned by her words, Murphy's wrench hitting reached a crescendo, and the Defiant suddenly accelerated to impossible speeds, leaving rainbow contrails that shouldn't exist in vacuum. "Wait!" Zexathara called desperately. How do we fight something we can't understand?" Chen's image flickered as the human ship prepared to jump. "That's your problem right there, Commander. You're trying to fight us. We're just here fixing things and making coffee." The transmission cut out as the Defiant vanished in a burst of what the sensors could only describe as enthusiastic purple. In the silence that followed, Zexathara's science officer looked up from his instruments. "Commander, I'm reading. 17 more human ships approaching. They appear to be humming." Through the viewports, tiny lights danced between the stars, growing brighter as their impossible harmonies reached across the void. The mighty Galactic Empire, with all its knowledge and understanding, watched in bewilderment as humanity's chaos began to sing.